What's going on, y'all? I hope everybody is feeling fantastic on this Thursday morning. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into this video. So I want to talk about Tisa Tells yet again because a lot of people don't know why I went after her yesterday in the fashion that I did, and I stand 10 toes down in my decision to go for her neck because at the end of the day, she's been coming for me on her channel on the sneak tip, and people have been telling me this for months. People have even jumped in the comments of certain videos that I've done and said, hey, Tisa is shading you again. And so I'm just like, yo, where is this coming from at the end of the day? Now, let me put you guys on game in regards to why I have an issue with Tisa. And basically, a hit dog will holler. And I'm not calling Tisa a dog here. It's just a saying that we have here in the South. So I believe that Tisa, right, had an issue with something that I said, and she thought that it was aimed and directed at her, which was not the case. But it lets me know, given the fact that she responded in the fashion that she did, there's something corrupt about her commentary. Now, once my people alerted me that she was talking kind of crazy about me, I started checking her channel out, and that's when I discovered that she was a certified liar. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I came across her channel before that, and I didn't watch her too much. She talked too fast, and she never did her research, which is okay because I'm not going to sit here and lie. I've came on my channel and made a mistake before, made a mistake 2, 3, 4, or 5 times without vetting the proper research to bring forth the absolute facts. So we all make mistakes there. But I will say that I'm not going to make a mistake to the tune where I come on my channel and tell you guys that Jonathan and Adi passed away, right? You remember that? Jonathan Adi, the SEX worker for Cassie and Diddy. Yep, she came to her channel and basically said that man was deceased. And clearly he wasn't. Now, there's so many lies that I can put on display here, but for the sake of time, I'm going to move on. Now, I want to say this. For all the women that have been following me for years, I appreciate you guys. You know that I've always stood behind y'all, had y'all back and things of that nature. I had dudes in the comments calling me simp and things of that nature because of my position on backing women. But at the end of the day, I've come to the conclusion that Tisa is a toxic feminist. And the reason why I've come to that conclusion is that I noticed that she plays at the emotions of her female fan base whenever she gets caught in a lie or things doesn't go her way. Case in point, the Diddy case, right? I thought Diddy was cooked. He's not cooked. And I'm not celebrating over here. But at the end of the day, her commentary on that particular situation was just one-sided. But anyway, what I want to do right now is implement this clip of this woman talking about the Diddy trial. Now, I want to let you guys know up front that I do not agree with everything that she said as it pertains to Diddy, but towards the end of the clip, you'll see her talking about Tisa, and then I'll be back to read you some of the comments from that video.
What's that I hear? Diddy and 7? I told you, emotional is trying to argue against logic ain't never gonna work. He's a horrible person. That's not a charge. He's a monster. That's not a charge. He beat her up. That could be a charge. But they didn't charge him of it. So you lose. But y'all just wanted him to go to prison just to go to prison. Well, I did too at first. When I saw the allegations, when I read the affidavit from Cassie, I said, this should be in prison for life. But if we only went off allegations and just what the prosecution said, then why have court? Just everybody go to jail. Everybody go to prison because we're only going off what the prosecution says. And women online talking about something, Cassie didn't get her justice. She got 30 million justices. She's probably eating lobster right now watching the verdict. And she's gonna text him because she's been in contact with him since being with her man. In fact, he piped her out while she was with her man. He saw the number come up on her phone when he was piping her out. And then she went back and told her man she got R-worded. You be lying. And then you'll get online when I'm saying something like this and be like, it's because of women like you that this happens. No, it's because of women like you. It's because of women like you. I'm just not going to stand for the lying. And I'm not here to gloat because I know there are real victims out there. But real victims should go to the police. Real victims should press charges, not go to Brown and Brown and get you 30 million and sign an immunity deal for your testimony. But I do want to mention who took a L during this trial. Bad already made that video. L. Women who are unaccountable. You got to start taking accountability for your own actions. If you're getting in your mouth, this is probably not the relationship for you. Get the out. Tisa Tells. You doing all that crying, girl. You supposed to be a reporter. Did Diddy you too? And then lastly, Curtis Jackson. 50 Cent, you took a L. And I hope Diddy's first song back is I took your dough, made her a and beat that Rico.
All right, so you guys just saw and heard all of that. Now, this is just my honest opinion. The reason why Tisa broke down in the fashion that she broke down in yesterday is based off of the fact that she knew that she had to save face for her fan base. She has been pushing this negative narrative about the whole entire case, and she made her people feel like that Diddy was going to be convicted of RICO and he wasn't. So she jumps online and she makes it all about women. They don't care about women. But what her followers are not getting is the fact that she puts on this emotional act to get you into an emotional state, so you really don't call her out for her BS. But I will say she's done her due diligence and she understands her fan base, because she knows that once she starts to kick up and starts to cry and things of that nature, she knows that people in the comments are going to be like, yo, that's okay, girl, you're the hardest working YouTuber ever, we got your back no matter what. And she thrives off that. But in all actuality, she doesn't care about this situation. She just cares about her bank account. That's it. That is it. And why, when someone calls her out, the first thing that she goes to is that you must be broke or dusty.
Oh, these broke mad. So anyway, listen, at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, excuse me, can you please move him away, please? So at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, right?
All right, so you guys just saw and heard all of that. Now, I want to ask you guys a question for those who may know. What is her ethnicity? Because I'm told that she's not a full-fledged African American, and if she's not, why is she calling somebody a broke a ninja? Now, as a people, I will admit that we shouldn't be using that word anyway, but if she's not a full-fledged African American, that word should not be a part of her vocabulary. Now, let me say this about Tisa, because it seems as though that she's caught up about how many subscribers she has, and she's very much so caught up about the money that she's making, because again, let me reiterate, when you go against her, the first thing she does is call people jealous. You're not making money. You're a bottom feeder. You know what I'm saying? Get your channel up and things like that. And I would like to remind her, there's people like me and others that may not have the subscribers that you have, and we may not get the views that you do, but trust and believe me, we can match you at the bank. And we just don't brag about it because we understand the times that we're living in. There are people that are watching our channels that had to figure out how to put dinner on the table last night. And we're very conscious of what we say, because at the end of the day, right, we understand that if it wasn't for them, that we wouldn't be in the position that we're in. Now, as for me, yes, you dust me on YouTube and that's fine. I want you to get your money, but I want you to get it the right way and stop lying. You know what I'm saying? I want you to get it the right way and stop leading your whole entire fan base in a burning house full of lies. And although you may be more successful than me and other critics of yours, it does not mean that you're successful collectively. We have businesses and investments outside of YouTube that will dust you. So be humble, because it can all be taken away from you in just a matter of time. Now, guys, I want to read you some comments as it pertains to what went down with Tisa yesterday. There was a lot of people responding to it, so let's get into these comments. So the first person says, Tisa lied about every aspect of the trial. Then someone else says, I didn't like Tisa's approach, way too emotional and biased. Sam and Armand were my way to go. We didn't trust the system before this. Now that he's going to walk, this is exactly why we don't report SA. They over prosecuted this bedroom DV and rich people entitlement. Sun is too hot for this drama. I don't get how people watch Tisa. I think Armand and Stephanie So did good. Simone Red Wine was pretty okay too. Why does she keep saying at the end of the day, come back when you can talk? You're obviously shook about something. 2 count, not 3. No bail, amen. Free Diddy. Cassie Jane Doe was never victim. Lady, get real. You can tell you are just another woman who is angry. Tisa, that is not why they're mad. You know why they're mad. I tried watching her, couldn't. She don't know what she is and was talking about. She should have owned up to her and her production on how she covered the trial, because she did not cover the trial in a very professional outlook. Not only did she do it aggressively, she should apologize to how she did it. Took so long to get to the end of the day that it was the next day. You are a total idiot. Never mind, GD. y'all so wrong, and so forth and so on. So moving forward, Tisa, it doesn't matter how many subscribers you get, doesn't matter how much money you make. People like me that deal in logic, your credibility will forever be cooked. And as long as you can live with that and live with those lies, then I guess go somewhere and mind your dry ass weave business. And we're all good. And that Kato's jacket that you had on yesterday, let's just keep it all the way 100, because listen, the muzzle is off. This girl has been attacking me and saying slick things to me, and I'm just completely done. Now, let me say this about Diddy, because people think that, oh, just because you have an opinion in his favor, you know what I'm saying, you must be on his payroll, right? So I just wonder, how can you be on Diddy's payroll? He didn't even pay his artists. You know what I'm saying? There's no connection to me and Diddy. And I will tell Diddy to his face that I think that he had Kim Porter taken out. And I will stand 10 toes down on that, right? So just because I give an opinion in his favor, I'm just dealing in logic. Now, as it pertains to him beating the RICO charge and whatever yesterday, he had an opportunity to face the judge and possibly get released. Well, the judge denied his bail. And I'm just going to say this, and I know that a lot of people are going to disagree, but I told you guys the muzzle off. As it pertains to this situation, I think it's a travesty. I think that Diddy should be released from jail. He's been locked up since September. It's been 9 months or so, or whatever the case may be. He went through the entire process. He was found not guilty on RICO. And just because Cassie and Cassie's stylist presented letters through Cassie's lawyer stating that they fear for their safety if Diddy gets out, I just think that's a bunch of BS. I really do, because at the end of the day, he's going to get out at some point. And yes, I'm totally against him seeking revenge on anybody that he feels that didn't stand in his corner or did him wrong, right? He would be a fool to commit any type of egregious acts, because they're going to lock him up and throw away the key. And so another thing that I look at is the fact that when Diddy first had the situation go down where they raided his homes and things of that nature, he had ample amount of time to flee the country then, and he didn't. He stood up like a man and he accepted everything that came his way. He went through the process or whatever. And I just don't understand why this man can't go home for a couple of months. Why can't he post bail for a couple of months, spend time with his family, right? Before he has to come back in October for sentencing. Now, if he gets time, you know, when he returns back in October in front of the judge, then, hey, I don't care either way at this particular point. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't understand that when you're a black person, you don't get the same provisions that other YT individuals get. And I'm talking about individuals that are on Diddy's level and above. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would have made bail already. They would have been out and about doing their thing. But yet we want to hold Diddy to the fire when he's went through the process, found guilty on 2 charges, beat the biggest charge, and you want to keep him in jail. And it seems as though that Judge Mathis agree. And I'm going to leave you guys with this clip. I know some of you guys don't agree with my position on this, but I'm a fair individual and I'm going to stay who the hell I am for the rest of my life. All right. So don't forget to like, comment, share. And if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Peace.
By now, you know that Sean Diddy Combs has been convicted of interstate transportation of prostitutes, two counts, and has been denied bail. Although I really am concerned about the assault against the women, particularly disrespecting black women as such, we must go with what he has been convicted of and respect the jury. And as I had predicted, he should be convicted after hearing and closing arguments of only the 2 counts of interstate transportation of prostitutes. We'll see in the future. Listen to us this next week on the Mathis verdict, as we'll talk about the entire case and the sentencing. The sentencing guideline for a first-time offender is 21 months to 27 months for each count. We'll see whether they're consecutive, whether they're concurrent, or if he deviates from that first-time offender assessment or sentence, if you will. Stay tuned.